Welcome in, everybody. I'm sure you clicked on this video because you recently heard of Helium Mobile and basically wanted to know if it's legit or not. First, to give you some background on myself, I sold phone service for at&t in 2018, 19, and 2020. I did in the past make videos on my time there about how that went. So when looking at other carriers, I understand, terms like porting over number, unlocked versus locked phones. I understand how different rate plans work, how different payment plans work, all that kind of jazz. Long story short, there's two groups I wouldn't really recommend Helium Mobile to. First group would be like if your parents are still taking care of the phone bill and not requiring you to pay a portion. If mommy and daddy are making it free, no point to switch or even think about it. Second group I wouldn't recommend service to is someone in a pretty rare situation where they live in a very remote area and you can't get Wi-Fi there, no kind of ISP, and there's absolutely no T-Mobile signal. In that kind of situation, or no T-Mobile signal, no power, in that kind of situation, right? Don't even think about Helium Mobile yet. If you're not in one of those groups, I would take a serious look at Helium Mobile. My experience with coverage, generally speaking, at&t, I would say, slightly outdoes do Helium on highways in rural areas. Helium is much better inside of homes and basements. Like my basement here, at&t is even spotty, and I'm in the suburbs, where Helium, it's always full bars. And yeah, this goes for rural, urban, or suburban areas. I've been 15 minutes away from the Minnesota and Canadian border and still had coverage with Helium Mobile, and some of those buildings, even way up there, it's outperformed at&t, like I said, because for whatever reason the signal is much better inside of buildings. So to sit here and act like at&t is far and away better in 2024 really isn't that accurate. Just my personal experience. Again, I'm just mainly referring to here in northern Minnesota. The current plan Helium Mobile offers is $20 a month, prepaid plan, unlimited talk, text, data, and then 5 gigs of hotspot, which at that price is very, very, very competitive. Helium Mobile is MVNO, which stands for Mobile Virtual Network Operator. In other words, they use T-Mobile towers, and then they give customers the opportunity to buy equipment. And then when you deploy this equipment that broadcasts cellular signal, you will then earn mobile tokens, and then you can take those mobile tokens and actually sell them for real money. I bring that up so you can see where people would want to buy a lot of this equipment to make some serious money. I bring up buying the equipment to help explain how Helium or Nova Labs, the actual developers, can keep the prices so cheap. And I see a lot of people ask, well, why would I want to buy expensive equipment to broadcast a signal? at&t and Verizon don't expect customers to buy equipment and then make the signal themselves. It's just because with Helium, you get rewarded in mobile tokens, which later on you can sell for actual money. So you can see where having a lot of this equipment can make you some serious money. I bring up buying the equipment too to help explain how Helium or Nova Labs, the actual developers, can keep the prices so cheap. Like I said, $20 for unlimited talk, text, data, very competitive. They can make money selling cellular equipment instead of paying for it all and then paying contractors to actually, hook it up and deploy it in various different spots, which MVMOs will do so that they don't have to pay the actual network. In this case, we're talking about T-Mobile that owns all the big towers as much, because then obviously less data is being used on their towers. The cherry on top for Helium Mobile, making it, in my opinion, the best wireless carrier in 2024, and it was in 2023 too, is the mobile rewards for mapping. So yes, by enabling this feature, you are giving your location to Helium, which sounds scary, but you got to keep in mind, if you have at&t, Verizon, T-Mobile, they're already doing it anyways, and they're not paying you for it. They're taking all that information, things you look up on Google and things you talk about on social media, go to whatever advertisement agency like Google again, and just sell your data to them. And again, obviously you don't get a cut, you don't get a reduction in the bill. Just something to keep in mind. You do have the option too, if you don't want to be mapped or give Helium Mobile your location, you have the option to opt out actually by default you opt out. This is something you have to opt into. And again, it is something that does help them, so they know where people are using data, and then we know where to deploy coverage, again, to keep the amount of usage on the towers down. So my experience, mapping is something very easy to do. I enabled the feature when it first became a thing back in like the end of July 2023. It's hard to believe, but again, a lot less people were doing it back then, and I didn't sell the tokens right away. I saved them. So I easily made thousands of dollars worth of tokens. Now, I would not join expecting to make thousands of dollars of tokens. I would join with the expectation, again, $20 a month, and you're going to get some help every month if you enable the mapping, the discovery mapping feature. And yes, for those of you wondering, you can easily on the app set it up to where the mobile tokens will go right to not just the next month's bill or prepaid payment, but the next 3 payments to make it easy for you. So to sign up for Helium Mobile, I will have a link to the website below. If you choose to use my promo code, you get $5 off the second month's bill, not the first month's bill. It'll still say, again, if you sign up correctly, that you have a $5 credit on the app, but just keep in mind, again, it's the second bill, it's not the first bill. And this is just simply because to reduce churn, because you'll have customers, basically you would be incentivizing them to sign up for a month and then cancel right away, and then just keep doing it over and over to get the cheaper price every month. So that's why it is that way. Also, if you have any questions about signing up, want to know if your phone will work, anything like that, you can join my Discord, the Helium Discord. My Discord, a lot less people than the Helium one, and I am very active on Discord. YouTube comments, I'm not as active. I don't always get notifications when comments are dropped. So that would just be a much better area to ask me a question, and if we need to go back and forth follow up, I can on there, again, for free. So that's something to keep in mind too. If you're being asked for personal data, it's not by me or any one of my mods or anything. You're probably talking to a scammer, so don't get scammed. Again, you won't have to give me any personal data. I won't expect any payments or anything like that. So don't get scammed. And then in the future, I may make a follow-up video to one like this with how well the cellular equipment does that I'm going to deploy. I do have indoor and outdoor Helium hotspots that I will be deploying. Might make a short out of it, just something to keep in your head, because I'm sure after you sign up, you'll be wondering about what rewards you can make if you get a hold of that equipment. And finally, everybody, thanks for watching. If you take one thing away from the 28-year-old you probably just met and listen to me ramble on about it, it's just keep in mind Web3 is changing the world for the better. So just keep an open mind. That's all I can ask. Keep an open mind.